All right. Everybody ready for SEM Rush? There's a couple empty seats, or is that just me? Maybe that's just me. Okay. Everybody ready? Good to go? Okay. So logged in, everybody logged into SEM Rush. Let me rephrase that. You're ready to go. Yes. Are you logged into SEM Rush? Mhm. Every time I see SEM Rush, I think of the band Rush for some reason. And I start, Monday Warrior, I start going crazy. It's fun. I should start listening to Rush when I do my campaigns. I bet I would rock it out. That'd be great. All right, so when we're logged into SEM Rush, now raise your hand if you have experience with SEM Rush before, if you used it and you use it for SEO, right? I kind of figured a bunch of you, more than half of you. Okay, great. Doesn't like SEO or SEM Rush. Goodness. All right. All right, so that's good. That means you're familiar with how to use the tool. I'm just going to show you, and for those of you who aren't, don't worry, I'm going to still show you step by step, okay? I am not going to talk to you as if you already know how to use it. I'm just going to say for everyone, okay? So go through it step by step for everyone. It's not complicated. It's, in fact, if you haven't used it before, you're probably at an advantage over the people who have used it before, because you guys are going to have to turn off that you have used it before. You're going to have to turn off your SEO brain a little bit and not get so analytical on the SEO organic side, because we're not setting up projects or anything like that, right? We're not going that in depth on the SEO side. Does that make sense? Okay, so just turn off the SEO brain. Okay. If you don't, I will come back there and manually adjust you and make sure that it's off. So all reports, what I like to do here is again come in and do something like Terminex.com. I want to do just a search. I don't select anything. I just do all reports. If you notice, it goes straight to the default, which is Domain Analytics Overview. Everybody see that? All right. Now, you see where the numbers are different on search performance for the organic keywords and the ads keywords. But if you look at the numbers of the keywords for organic search, remember SpyFu said for Terminex there was like 13,000 keywords that were paid. The organic is 12.8, and if you look at the excuse me, where's the paid ads? Paid ads. Make sure you're in mobile, by the way. You click mobile here and US. Those are important. Forgot to mention that. The this overview. Where's the paid? There it is, paid search. So okay, so they said 13,000 keywords, but notice here in SEM Rush it says 5,275. Everybody see that? I just logged in, semrush.com. It pulls up the dashboard, and then you type in the top search bar here, you just type in Terminex.com, and don't select anything from the drop down. Just hit search. Good to go. You're welcome, Chris. All right, so when you scroll down, you will see the paid keywords is 5,275. Everybody remember SpyFu said for Terminex.com it was 13,000 paid keywords. Is that, everybody remember that, or is that just me? Okay, good. So the difference here is in the data. Now, no one has exact data from Google. No one. This is their best efforts. Like, no one has exact data from Google unless they hack Google, which is just probably the likelihood of that's just not going to happen, right? So this is as close as you can get, and all of the information here, this is the key operating word here, is relative. What do I mean by relative? If something says a cost per click is 18 bucks per click, it's probably not going to be 18 bucks per click. It's just going to be, make a mental note, higher cost per click. Does that make sense? And then if it says 18 for this keyword and 3 for this one, It doesn't mean it's exactly 18 and exactly 3. It just means this one is significantly lower relative to everything else you're seeing. So I want you to start thinking in relative terms when you're looking at bids. And that includes suggested bids. A couple of you asked on the break, which I appreciate. Don't be afraid to ask questions. I want your questions so the group can take advantage of them, right? When you look at the suggested bids, sometimes you'll see suggested bids for $14 HVAC, right? It freaks you out. It's like, man, that's more than the offer. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be paying that, okay? It's just what the suggested bid is. They suggest it because they're an ad platform. They want you to spend money with them, right? Like, it's just a suggestion. A suggestion is what? A form of advice, right? That you can do what with? You can choose to ignore it, right? That's our right, the power of choice, right? Every day, choices every day. All right, so paid keywords, paid search, organic search, domain overview. Now, when you click on organic research, we do that first because it's in order. So we're not going after the paid keywords again. This is stuff that most people don't do. You'll scroll down and you'll see keywords that people are bidding on, and you see the volume. You see the traffic percentage, meaning this is the percentage of traffic that specific keyword gives to Terminix.com. So 13% of their traffic is for their own brand name. See how that works? Okay. Does that mean their brand name's pretty strong? Right. Yeah. And you can see the costs. This one says $21.21, right? If you look at bed bugs, 550,000 searches, which is awesome. That's almost 5.5% of their traffic. Look at the cost though, $283. Let me ask you guys something. If you're in pest control, what are you thinking right now when you see that? Just right off the bat. You guys tell me. Oh, 2.83%. Gotcha. Value based on the desktop keywords metrics. 2.83% of their budget. Got it. Okay, so that's what they're spending. But what does that tell you if there's 550? Here's what I still want to get across. 550,000, even though it doesn't cost that much, there are costs. I got confused. There are cost columns in a second that I'll show you. But with 550,000 searches, is there traffic there? Yes. And they're only spending 2.83% worth of their budget on it, but it's 5.5% of their traffic. Now, 5.5% of their traffic, they're not going to get all 550,000 in the volume, right? So if you estimate, and again, best guess here, right? Because that's what SEMrush is doing. It's the most educated guess you can do. If you estimate a percentage of that traffic, even conservatively, and then say, okay, 5.6% of that is their traffic, you can again estimate what Terminix's traffic would look like overall, and then you also understand how many searches are actually being performed, as opposed to, or up for grabs, let's say, for you to put your ad in front of. Are you following? Does everybody follow that? So when you put your ad in front of, when you put your bed bug ad, because you target the ad, right? You target the keyword bed bugs, but not just, see how they target bed bugs, 550,000 searches. They can get away with it because they're Terminix. I get it. But we're targeting higher intent keywords that include the term bed bugs. So there's a little bit different, a little bit of a difference there. But do we still get high volume for those keywords? A lot of them, yes, because they include the word bed bugs, right? And so if our bids are good and our keywords are decent, then we're going to get a lot of that traffic that someone's typing in bed bugs. It's going to show our ad, and obviously with quality score coming into play later on with the AdWords, you're going to get bumped up to the top positions, okay? Even if Terminix is already there. It's just how it works. You guys follow? Okay. So that is percentage. If you look here, competition Competition shows you the organic side, like the SEO side. Now, again, I told you we were not going to cover SEO stuff, but this one I do like to pay attention to because SEMrush recommends that you don't target anything over, I believe it's 60 or 70. I think it's 70 or 60, somewhere in there. I like to shoot for 50, even when I'm going to be running ads, because if it's a little bit lower competition when in the SEO side of things and the organic side of things, and I'm bidding on those keywords for paid keywords, I'm actually bidding on those. There's a big difference where the cost can actually be lower if the competition's not as high. Does that make sense? If the competition's not as high, Google says it's not worth as much in terms of, but it's not worth as much to them, to Google, the platform. To us, it could be gold for certain keywords. You guys follow? Okay. All right. And then, of course, you can see the updates. I mean, this thing is updated pretty regularly, which is awesome. All right, we could do the display and video, but we're not doing that right now. We're only doing call-only ads, so none of that data matters to us right now. Okay, but in the distant future, video and display, we can actually use those. All right, so now we got to go to keyword analytics. Okay. Oh wait, excuse me. Going to competitors. So the Terminix.com competitors, right? See all these keyword lists? Just want to make sure you know where to grab them. Competitors. See how this is similar data to SpyFu? That's why I said this one first. What ads work second in terms of priority, and then SpyFu third, right? Oh, and someone suggested, the gentleman from Denmark. What's your name, sir? Where are you at? Brian. Yes, sir. He suggested doing some group buys on some, putting these things together, putting them on a VPS, and splitting the costs. So if a few $100s a month is too rich, I get you. 4 or 5 people, since you're only pulling data and then you're pretty much going to just leave it, you could probably get your costs way down if you decide to do a VPS and split that with somebody. I think he said he was going to post something. I would check with Chris before you do that, though. Make sure you get the okay from the man. I am not the man. Chris is the man for that, and hopefully you guys can coordinate and get stuff going. Save you guys a little bit of money. Also, Jack Heap, Jack came up with a couple of discount codes. Did you guys see those? Apparently, some of those discount codes are working. They're in the Barcelona Callzoo group. I think he posted those. Is Jack here? Where's Jack? Oh, Jack is sick? Oh, dang. Oh, well. Sorry, Jack. But thank you for posting the discount links for everybody. All right. I'm going to go back over. All right. So keyword analytics. You're going to click on overview. Now, this gives you exactly what they're going for when it comes to phrase match and related keywords. What I like to do is just view full report of the related keywords. I don't go for phrase match. I know phrase match is more specific, but you notice how they're doing customer.terminix? They're trying to target their own existing customers and do it cheaply, right? So I don't want to follow necessarily in their footsteps and try and steal their customer away, right? Because what if they're mostly loyal, right? I don't want to do that and spend money on that. So instead, I want to do related keywords. Like if you look at the top related keywords, you can see it's a misspelled domain of Terminix, because most people think by the way you say it, it's NEX. It's actually NIX is the real brand name. So Terminix EX is what people mistype. So when you typo. So when you hit view full report, you make sure you're on mobile again. Make sure that's selected. US is good to go. because we're doing a U.S. campaign. Here's what I want to show you guys. So you've got search volume that you can sort by. Related means this is how related the key term, the keyword that you're looking at is to the main site / keyword. In other words, is it relative? You follow? Or is it ice cream keyword when you're looking for a pest control keyword? That obviously would have a 0 relativity score or 0%, whereas a misspelled domain would be very high at 70%, as you can see, right? Competition's actually low for those misspellings, which is great. Trend is low, but do you think it's consistent traffic? I mean, the volume, by the way, is based off the same 12-month period from like Keyword Planner that you use. So 320 average over the last 12 months, 320 average per month. It's not too shabby, right? Okay. Right, they're specifically looking for Terminex, but if you're targeting based on your ad saying, is your house infested, which I'll cover my ad copy in a little bit. I hit people with a are you infested, or is your house infested, question mark, to where I'm only getting the really desperate people. Is that jive? Everybody else is targeting based on a general interest in pest control, or yeah, I need to get that done, I need to get set up on it. Is that high intent? It's medium intent, but it's not like as soon as they hit the dial button they're going to order, whereas my version, my way of going after that traffic, it is, right? So for guys doing water restoration and damage, there's keywords for like storms and floods and fires, things that you can use that imply urgency, like I need to get this thing restored like now. Hopefully that makes sense. Any questions on that? Oh, lost my mouse. Come on, mousy mouse. There we go. All right. Questions? No questions? Okay. Got a couple other things in SEMrush. Some really cool stuff right here. The SEO Keyword Magic is the beta tool. That means they haven't like rolled it out to everybody, and when they do, they're probably going to put it in one of the packages that they offer. I'm not sure if it's going premium or if it's going to be for, you know, the 70 a month or whatever. I'm not sure. I did talk to them about that though. It's only been in beta for I think a few months, like 2-3 months. But this tool is super sick, and I can guarantee you most people aren't using it because it's an SEO tool, right? I mean, how many paid traffic guys do you know use SEO tools to get their keyword lists? Not many, believe it or not. Not to this level, not to this extent. So when you click on SEO Keyword Magic, you don't put your domains in. What you do is those keywords that you were pulling, so for Chris, the auto locksmith, you had the I locked my keys in my car. What was that exact keyword? Give it to me and I'll punch it in. Show you guys something on Keyword Magic. It's pretty sick. Oh, locked out of car?
Yeah.
Locked out of car. Now watch this. Did I not? There we go. Gotta hit search. All right. So I'm able to sort by these keywords here and actually exclude keywords from over here that don't make sense. For example, where would I want? Gun, maybe, right? So just put in gun and then you do a comma, space. I can sort by volume on keywords. A lot of different things, competition. What I like to do is just scroll over and do a sort by. Instead of messing with this from such and such to such and such, I just do sort by. the first thing I sort by is volume and then cost per click. And again, these cost per clicks are relative. It's not exact, and it's definitely not exact for call-only ads. This is per click in general. Per click in general. You guys catch that? Per click in general. Okay, so as I sort by, I sorted by volume, but now I sorted by CPC. And what I want to do is click here, and then I want to come back and filter on competition. I know I said I don't use this, but I want to go from 0 to 60. And then sort by high-end cost per click. Okay. Competition 9. Why is that showing? It shouldn't be showing. Should not be showing. What's that? Ah. Maybe that did it. Boom. Thank you very much. 0.6 instead of 60. All right, so cost per clicks, low competition, but high cost per click. But look at that keyword. Car door lock stuck. I never thought about that. Like, it's one thing to lock your keys in the car, but now I just got a whole new idea of the door getting stuck itself, right? That sounds like a repair thing, but before it can be repaired, what has to happen? You have to unlock the car, right? And then get to the auto dealer to get it fixed. How do you get into a locked car? Is that high intent, low intent, what? Right. Look at the cost per click, though. It's high, relatively. Like you see 31, 20, 28, 16. It's relatively high compared to the rest of the list, and lower competition. Why is that? Why is that high, you think? Right. People are bidding on it, trying it out, and there may be some winners there. It may be worth testing. That's my point. You never know if it seems like it's decent intent. Like how do you get into a locked car? Ways to get into a locked car. Those are almost like YouTube searches where someone's trying to find like little life hacks. All right, we all do the life hack searches, right? Oh, look, you can use a tennis ball, put a hole in it, and jam the air in the door and open sesame, right? Or use a bump key, or don't ask me how I know all this stuff. I'm not gonna go there. Knew that was coming. What's that? No, that shit's real. It is real, and it does work. It's very effective stuff. What's that? So with those keywords, they do have that vibe to them, but you can add certain keywords to them that may not necessarily mean, it may have more intent, such as take off how do you, and take off ways to get, and take off get into a locked car in such and such, near such and such. Certain people are going to say things a little differently, right? The language is going to be a little bit different. Get into my locked car. See, now you're using your brain. See how that works? You got a new keyword, a new set, a new campaign that you can start. Let's see. How to get locked keys out of a car. 46%, which is very low. $13 cost per click. So there's got to be some of this, like, money is not consistently spent over time if there's not money being made, right? I know there's a sucker born every minute, but not that many that will keep the ads going forever and ever and ever. That means somebody found a winner somewhere in there, and you can optimize in and find it. It's just a matter of, is it worth it to you? Is it profitable enough? The only way you're going to know the answer to that question for any keyword is to test it and see what the data tells you, which, again, we'll go into the AdWords side after lunch. Make sure you guys are set on that. But I just want to make sure you guys are understanding the keyword side first. You guys follow? Okay. Now, the cool thing is I can take some of these keywords that are higher intent, such as Let's see what we can find here. Locked keys in running car. Holy crap, look at that one. Right? Low search volume, only 40, but there's got to be other variations of that that have search volume tied to them, okay? And that's 40 versus over the last 12 months on an average, right? I can guarantee you if 40 people are searching that, 40 people have locked their keys in their car every month for the last 12 months. And let's face it, a lot more people lock their keys in their car. This is a search estimate. It's not always exact, all right? We saw one that said a keyword similar to this was like 100. So look for it to be a lower number is what that's basically saying. If we look at the data points, all the I locked my keys in my car keywords are lower search volume. But when you start finding them and mining them out, you've got several of them at lower volumes, it starts to add up. You see how that works? And look at the competition. I want you to look at the competition on that. It's below 50, which again is on the SEO side. But if it's lower on the SEO side, look at what that does to the cost. Their best SEM's best guess, SEMrush is best guess on cost per click, not per call, but per click, is $6.58. Doesn't mean you'll pay $6.58, right? Now I was looking at numbers similar to this with pest control on terms like how to get rid of fleas, bed bugs, right? Bed bugs was a big one, obviously, for me. But $6.58, I was paying way less than that. Like if you look at the numbers back there on what I spent per click, it was under $2 basically per click. Okay, not per call, but per click. And then per call, I had roughly a 50% from click to call conversion. Now the reason it's not 1-to-1 is because when someone clicks on the button, right, to call, it just populates the dialer. They still have to hit the call button, right? Maybe somebody didn't mean to click it, or they went too fast or whatever, right? So 50% click-through rate or phone-through rate. They call it a phone-through rate instead of a click-through rate, which makes sense. But yeah, if you've got a lower cost per click like that, you're going to pay significantly lower relative to some of those other keywords that were like $30. You see the difference? It may not necessarily cost you $30, but it's definitely not going to cost you $6.58 either. See what I'm saying? You don't see what I'm saying? What do you miss? What are you missing? Does everybody else see what I'm saying? Make sure I don't lose anybody. Or am I losing you guys?
Do you get charged just for the click on the ad? Or the call
you get charged for the click, for every click. So if you screw up and get bad keywords where people are fat fingering, thinking they're calling customer service for Terminix, the customer service number for Terminix, and your call button shows up and they think they're going to be talking to Terminix customer service, you're going to pay for that click, right, regardless of whether it turns into a conversion or not, and obviously end up with a lot of pissed off people too.
No, rather, you say when you click on the ad, rather than it going to a landing page with a
Correct.
regular ad, it just pops up the button.
No,
no,
it pops the number into the dialer.
Then they've got to tap to call.
All they have to do is hit the call button like normal, like so I was calling a buddy.
So if they don't tap to call, you're getting charged for their first click, not for.
I'm still getting charged. Yeah. If they hit the call button or not, I'm getting charged per click still. Yes. So that's the difference on your phone through rate on the click versus the actual call, right? 50% is pretty decent. Anything north of that, you're good, okay? Especially when you see relatively lower costs like this for really good keywords, even if it's lower search volume. This doesn't, by the way, this doesn't mean you only run long tail keywords. Someone was asking that earlier, I think in the back. You want to run a mix, because if there's money to be made running a word like pest control and then the city, run it, try it, see what conversions pop up, because you can find, remember yesterday the data, you can find a lot of those keywords that I put in were just based off a brand name or very basic, because I wanted to make this simple where you're not overthinking it. At the same time, in this training, I'm giving you everything not just what I did. Does that make sense? I'm giving you everything that I'm going to expand into on these campaigns. So when you go back and look at this case study, because I'm actually going to record all of that and do updates as we go, start to finish. So you're going to have all that, and I don't want you to look at that and go, well, shit, he didn't talk about long tail keywords, right? I want you guys to look at it and go, oh, now he's ready to fold in the long tail keywords because I know what I'm doing, right? That's the difference. So you're actually going to be doing a mix of the main keywords, which is why we have Keyword Planner, right? That's going to give you some very top level, high level keywords to plug in. And you're also going to use a mix of the long tails. And then let the data tell you from there, the search queries and the conversions tell you when, where, how these conversions are being made, what people are typing in or saying into their phone to make those conversions happen, and then we start building campaigns for each of those. So that's why we have the duplicate page on our website, for example, so we can go and do, oh look, how to get rid of fleas is working like gangbusters. Boom, I'm going to blow that state up too, where it's popping off in Florida. I'm just going to build a page for bed bugs Florida, right? And it's going to increase my quality score, because Google's going to be like, oh, look, he's running a specific campaign. It's got high conversions, high click-through rates. It's extremely freaking relevant. His keywords are all over that page. It's the same keyword he's using for the ad. It's the same keyword he's using in the ad, right? And he's getting conversions with it and clicks with it. You put all that together, this quality score is going to go up to like 8, 9, 10. And when it goes up to 8, 9, 10, you're paying significantly, like if you were second or third place, you'd be paying less than half of what they're paying just to be second or third, and you'd be first position, and you'd get all the traffic. Is that, or most all the traffic? Does that make sense? It's pretty cool. So questions on, oh, by the way, you can just grab the keywords up here once you select them. Actually, you don't even have to select. You just export to CSV. Once you've filtered out all the keywords you need, you just hit export, and you're good to go. Everybody good on SEMrush? Oh, Mr. Jesse has a question.
For me, one of the questions that I have is, as we're going through all this keyword research and things like that, I mean, obviously this can get very, very granular, and you can end up with even tens of thousands of keywords that you're trying to figure out which ones do I start with, which ones do I bid. Is there kind of a rule of thumb or something that you start to go by to get your initial campaign going, like a certain amount of ad sets and groups, and how you structure those keywords like that, of how you're filtering this data so you can organize it and actually set the campaign up to have a better chance at winning at first, but then optimize it from there?
Absolutely, brother. That's a great question. It's a little further than we are right now, but I will give you a short answer for it, and then I will delve into it. Why did it get louder all of a sudden? I will delve into it more when we hit the actual ad creation, but I will answer your question because I like doing that. The strategy that I employ, goodness, it's out too late last night. I'm just kidding. Kind of. The strategy that I deploy is one keyword per ad group. So in Google AdWords, and obviously you're not looking at it right now, and if you're not familiar with it, please just tune it out, whatever you got to do. You've got the campaign level, you've got the ad group level, and then you've got the keyword level, and then ads. Right, the ad level, the ad copy level. One keyword per one ad group. Bless you. Bless you again. So when you look at where the conversions are coming from, I not only know what state, what day, what hour, right? I also know what keyword and what ad brought me the conversion. So there's a couple other data points that I haven't even touched on from that I know exactly how I can double or triple again. I just didn't put them on the board. I didn't want to freak anybody out or scare anybody with crazy large numbers, because even if that's half right, as I optimize and show you guys on this case study, it's going to work like gangbusters and make tons of money, and people do this every day. but not a lot of people, right? It's about to be a lot of people. You guys are about to dig in, right? Good question on that. I will show you guys my process, 100%, start to finish. And you can run to a little more in depth. You can run a bunch of keywords if you want, 10,000 keywords. AdWords lets you do 20,000 ad groups per campaign. You can run 20,000 keywords per ad group, which means 20,000 keywords per 20,000 ad groups for one campaign, which is nuts. And then you can run 20,000 campaigns. So that, like, if you look at the numbers, like, oh my God, I could do so much with it. But so that's why we do one keyword to one ad group. We could do 20,000, but we would never know which keyword brought that conversion. When you do one keyword per one ad group, there is no doubt where that conversion came from, like what keyword. You guys follow? Okay. Then when you go and look at it in search queries, you can see how someone used that keyword in their whether they talked to the phone or how they typed it in. You see how that works? So it's like, oh look, I got a conversion from pest control, Atlanta. I go and look at the search queries and it says, find pest control in Atlanta near me, right? Now I've got a long tail keyword that I can do phrase and exact match on and bring it into a new campaign, one keyword per ad group. You guys follow? And because it's phrase and exact, I'll get into this in a second, because it's phrase and exact, I'll pay less because it's more specific. It's more targeted, it's more relevant. It's not broad match or broad match modifier, right? Yes. Not per ad group. There's a difference. You got it.
So one keyword per ad group,
Yes.
and is there also one landing page per ad group?
One landing page per ad group.
No.
No. Starting out, we run a general page like we made yesterday and today, right? Then when you find your winners, like I showed you on that initial data, now I can go back and say pest control Atlanta or bed bugs Tallahassee, right?
Okay.
Or whatever how to get rid of bed bugs Florida, right?
And then you'd modify the content to add in the geographic.
I would just duplicate a page, put the exact keyword in, and format all the keyword areas in that page, hit publish. You can run it straight through to the same number, no problem. You're good to go. Everybody good? Okay. No more questions? Nope. Nope. Okay. So from here, we got to talk about keywords. Broad match modifier, phrase, and exact. Who knows what that even means? Anybody? A few people. Okay. So broad, and I've got an example to show you guys of like a graph, and it's in the training and all. But here's the deal. Broad is just the keyword as it's typed in. So if you look at this keyword right here, locked out of car, if it was typed in just like that, that's considered broad match. Okay, and this is going into Google AdWords a little bit. This is how it would look in Google AdWords. They consider this a broad match entry. Make sense? Broad match is going to target all of those keywords. So car could be in something they search for, looking to buy a new car, which has nothing to do with being locked out of a car, or locked out of my house. Even though it doesn't have car, it has locked out of my. You get that? So your keyword could actually show up in a lot of wrong places because it's too broad. Hence the word broad. Like that's what broad means. It's going to cover everything it sees in that phrase, right? It's too general. Okay, you follow? Okay, so there's something called broad match modifier, which looks like this. It's got a plus in front of each keyword, or each word of the keyword, I should say. So locked out of car. This means you're telling Google that you do not show my ad unless all of the words that have a plus in them are in the search query. They could be in a different order. Someone could say car out of locked in a completely different order. Not that they would, I'm just saying they could. And that your ad would still show because all of those keywords met that criteria that you set for Google. And this is called broad match modifier, okay? The reason this is important is because it's not as broad. It's a little bit more focused in on what you're trying to drive traffic for. A lot of pay-per-callers that I know that use paid traffic and have talked to, they run this. They recommend this. But the owner and founder of What Ads Work actually recommends broad match because people are doing so much with their phones these days and the voice. So it's one of those things where you split test, okay? You split test whether you use broad and broad match modifier on your keywords. Now, here's an important point. This keyword has how many words in it? Right. This is not a keyword that I would broad match modify. This is long tail because it's more than 3 keywords. So anything that's more than 3 keywords, so 4 or more, just remember, rhyme it out. 4 or more is broad match modify, is long tail keyword, is just broad. Leave it as broad. You got that? Leave it as broad because you're going to get more searches. Yes, you're going to have crazy searches, but that's where the negative keywords come in. So negative keywords have that same effect as what the plus would almost. It keeps those bad searches away so you're not paying for clicks that don't make sense, okay? So if is this keyword right here, is that broad match modifier or is that broad? I'm sorry, say again? It's modifier, you sure? I'm just messing with you guys. Yeah, it's modifier. You're thinking right. It's 3 or less, right? 3 or less for broad match modifier. So I would actually put pluses in front of this one. You follow? Just testing your knowledge. You're good. Okay. Didn't want to freak you guys out. All right, so phrase match. This is going to be when someone types in a phrase that's similar. So locked out of car could be part of the phrase that they typed in or said into Google. So this is where some of that voice stuff comes in. Not always, but sometimes. And typing in sometimes. So help me Google, I'm locked out of my car. Locked out of car would fit that phrase because it was part of the phrase. You guys follow? And the way you denote to Google that I want this to be a phrase match is quotation marks, right? I feel like Dr. Evil and laser, right? Locked out of car. Okay, you guys got that. And then exact match is exactly what it sounds like, exact match. Locked out of car. If it is not exactly how it looks here, it's not case sensitive, but if it's not exactly how it looks here, locked out of car, in that order, and just that, like nothing else, like see phrase, you could have something else with it. You see how that works? With exact, it's exact. This is it in the search engine that's typed in, okay? That's what you're telling Google to show your ad on. You follow? Does anybody have questions, Dimitri? Okay, so this one is exact, meaning it has to be all of the keywords in that order. Pluses can be mixed up, could be in the middle of phrases, could be blah, blah, whatever, right? It's just as long as they're there on the plus, which is, that's why it's a little more broad, but it's modified to where it's not so broad. You got it. You got it. So yeah, any questions so far on those keywords and the format and why we do what we do? Microphone. We're doing good, guys. Making good time. Let's see what time it is. I think we're making good time.
My question in regards to
Oh, yeah,
this,
good.
and I have a fair amount of experience with this, but in the keyword planner,
Yeah?
when you're looking at the keyword volume that the keyword planner is showing, that is still exact match, is what Google is showing, correct?
Not unless you specify. It's for broad.
I thought they took it away and that they're actually showing exact match results.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'd have to double
There
check.
used to be a filter that you could filter by exact broad
Phrase,
phrase
exact broad, yeah.
and just see, you know, like what the volume and stuff would be.
So they took that away and made it exact.
It's just not even in keyword planner. So like when
Right.
you're looking at keyword planner, at least from what I know, you're looking at what the exact match volume should
Right.
be for those keywords at this point. So your broad would be higher traffic,
Higher
it's just
traffic.
not as targeted.
Right. So when you see 40, what he's saying, Chris, when you translate that, when you see 40 or 100, that's for exact, and it's going to be more for broad or broad modified on the shorter keywords. And the long tail keywords are probably going to be smaller volume, but maybe not that small. They'll probably be a little bit bigger than that. Okay. So in other words, they might be worth going for. Okay. Good point. Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate that. So when you look at Keyword Planner, it's just exact. It's based on exact. Good deal. Any other questions or points to make? Thank you for the feedback. No? Nothing? You guys are ready for lunch, I bet, huh? Oh, like, God, this guy won't shut the hell up. Nothing? You don't have anything for me? Any questions on like what we've covered this entire morning? I mean, I'll go back with you guys, whatever you need. Please don't feel scared. I'm not going to beat you up. I love engaging with you. Ask your questions while you can. Take advantage. Dimitri, come on, buddy. Give it to me. Give it to me. The suggested bid what? And keyword planner.
Yeah, the suggested bid. Is that suggested bid for any type of ad word?
Yes, any. It's not
Any.
specific to
Whether
call
it's
only.
pay per
It's
call.
whether it's pay per call, whether it's mobile, not optimized, but mobile based, display, search.
And then when you say if it's suggested $7,
Right.
do you go in and you say I'll bid $6.20 and wait for their approval to say sure, or?
No, I'll show you on the ad setup,
Got it.
but I tend to set stuff up low on the low end first, and then it's too low. Let me raise my bids a little bit, and it's still too low. Oh, look, I'm getting some traffic. So now I know where the ceiling is, or the floor is of where I can start to get traffic for keywords, and then I say, okay, let me raise it a little bit more. Oh, look, this ad's performing well. This ad's getting conversions. I'm gonna raise my bids here. These are not performing very well. Let me turn them off while I continue to raise and raise and raise.
Got it.
And
Okay.
turn off and turn on winners. Okay,
Thank you.
good. Oh, Mr. Robertson.
I'm going to be your straight man again. So this afternoon, you're going to take the data that you pulled out of these for your pest control example, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that's where you're going to be able to point back to this is what I got
Yep.
out of these for this, and that's why.
And here's how I'm going to optimize it. Yep, you got it. Thank you for the question. Here we go. Chris's buddy. What's your name?
Hi, Gareth.
Gareth?
Gareth.
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 ATH?
ETH.
ETH, Gareth.
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 Hello,
Gareth.
nice to
I
meet
can't
you.
say it right. Forgive my accent. I just don't want to butcher your name, right?
No
I do want to
worries.
remember it. Gareth. Got it.
I touched on establishing a budget and a risk yesterday. I know you're going to go into the full process later on this afternoon. What I'm interested in is the $1,000 an arbitrary figure, or was that predetermined before? Or did the keywords tell you that was going to be an amount? Or
No, I just decided to spend that. I know from experience, 500 to $1,000 is usually good enough to get me enough data to get going. It's enough to throw out the ping, and with the, gosh, that's so loud. With the ping, I'm able to say, oh look, it's over there, and I just start going that way, and I spend more money. But as I spend more money, because I'm going towards the ping, I make more money too. See how that works?
So it's not a fixed amount. It's just enough to give you.
It's just yeah.
numbers.
Sometimes, like, okay, so do you guys remember the lawyer keywords, the tort law that's like $400 a call? I told you on the local side you can make a few grand per lead that they take. Those are really high prices, right? But when you get to a level where you can obviously $500 to $1,000 on a campaign, for that I wouldn't have enough data. You guys follow? I would spend so much, I'd have to spend so much, I wouldn't even be able to scratch the surface like I'm doing with pest control. Do you follow? Because that's why I recommend getting started. Laser. You've got $10 to $30 average on your offer that you're looking for, 24/7, 2 minutes or less on connect duration, like all those qualifiers that I gave you guys yesterday for selecting an offer. That's why, because I don't want you guys to have to spend more than $500 to $1,000 to get a good enough data set to start homing in on that ping.
Thank you.
For the optimizing. You're welcome. You're welcome. Are we about ready for lunch?
We're almost ready. Just a
Okay,
couple of
great.
minutes.
So if there's other questions, a couple of questions before we head to lunch, and then when we come back, I will tell you this while I'm waiting on questions. When we come back, we'll be setting up a call Zoom number because I'm sure, has anybody gotten approved for their campaign yet and their offer that they're running? Raise your hand if you've been approved. We had one person approved for their offer. Okay. That's okay. Oh, Mr. Grant. Well, yeah, he's he came approved. That's how he rolls. So that's okay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna when you guys do get approved, we're basically gonna put the Twilio number in from CallZoo, so our CallZoo number. We're gonna put that into the website, and we're gonna put that into the ads, and get them approved on the Google AdWords side. And that way, when you get approved on the network, all you got to do is go and get the promo number and just go into your CallZoo and forward the CallZoo number to the promo number. You're done. It's connected. Everybody follow? So we're going to set that up after lunch. Obviously, we don't have the promo numbers yet, but we can still set up the CallZoo number and get that ready to go so you guys can track all your calls and all that, right? So we'll set that up, and then we'll go straight into the ads because we'll have everything we need. Cool? All right.
Okay, hang on one second, guys. Don't get up yet. Hold on. Can you go and log into the Facebook group, the Barcelona Facebook group?
Yeah, sure.
And just show something.
Absolutely. Oh, wrong one. Where is it? There it is. Boom.
Okay, and then just go to the pin. Yeah, right here. If you can just expand that out for me. Oh no, that's not it. Yeah.
What am I looking for?
Where's my pin group? See more.
Oh, expand it out. Gotcha.
Why is it not showing? I just posted it. I'll post. That's not the one. Yeah.
Let me refresh. Oh, it's a pinned post.
Yeah, go to
That's
a pin
why.
post.
That's the pinned post.
Oh, I need to unpin it. Okay. Okay.
I can come down.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for a Chris Winters post.
There it is.
Farewell
I'll end
dinner.
up pinning this. Go ahead and expand that out and click on it.
Just click on this link.
Yeah, this is just directions to dinner.
Ah.
So you're going to want to take a look at that, zoom it in. We got a little bit of walking to do, about 9 minutes to get to the station, 9 minutes afterwards.
I love it.
But
Oh, it's
just
right there on
one
the.
There. Does everybody have a Metro ticket?
We were just there last night.
Yeah, you can.
Woo!
Yeah.
We're going back.
You can buy them there, so it's not a big deal on that end of it. But we want to leave here, get out of here by 6:30 to be able to make it there by 8 o'clock. Okay? Yeah, it's going to be 8 o'clock. Yeah, 8 o'clock on the end of it. So that's it. Lunch is in the back. Remember, there are some vegetarians here, so we've got the 3 vegetarians. They're the different looking sandwiches towards the rear. Don't grab those unless you're a vegetarian, okay?